Tail of the tape here. This matchup between Erick Silva from Venezuela facing Erik Radleim from Mexico. 3 years older, Erick Silva, pretty even on the height. This is a featherweight division, 145 pounds. Silva has won 5 out of 6. Radleim is even at 6-6. So that's the record of both fighters. We're gonna go up inside the cage with the voice of the octagon, Felipe de Maria.
Presentando primero en la esquina blanca, un especialista en artes marciales mixtas, récord profesional de 6 ganadas, 6 perdidas, una altura de 1,70 m y un peso oficial de 145.3 libras. Presenting now on the white corner, he's a mixed martial artist with professional record of 6 wins, 6 losses, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, an official weight of 145.3 pounds from Córdoba, Veracruz, and fighting straight out of Tijuana, Baja California, is Erik Radleim. Al otro lado de la jaula, en la esquina negra, un especialista en artes marciales mixtas, récord profesional de 5 ganadas, 1 perdida, una altura de 1,74 m y un peso oficial de 145.9 libras. Presenting now on the black corner is a mixed martial artist with professional record of 5 wins, 1 loss, standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, an official weight of 145.9 pounds from Venezuela, and fighting straight out of Costa Rica is Erick the King Silva. Referee en turno, Miguel Jiménez.
Okay. Miguel Jiménez will be a referee for this bout in the featherweight division between Erick Silva and Erik Radleim. Tonight, the featherweight belt is in play between Diego Lopez and Macio Fullen, former UFC fighter, but I think that if Silva wins clearly tonight, he's got a shot. Alrighty, it's Lux time. Alongside Lima Le McFarlane, I am Francisco X Rivera. Glad that you can join us. Lima, what kind of fight can we expect from these two guys?
Well, you know, right off the back, we see a high kick by Silva. He's a very, very dynamic striker. You know, obviously isn't afraid to take one to give one. But, you know, Radleim, he actually loves to stay in the pocket and loves to throw down.
Wow.
But, again, as we see, Silva is a little bit more dynamic of a striker and likes to switch it up on you.
Alrighty. Even a flying knee attempt from Erick Silva from Venezuela, now fighting out of Costa Rica. Costa Rica contributing a lot to the Lux Fight League roster in the last couple of years as we see Silva going for the leg kick.
Yeah, and everything that Silva throws has a lot of power on it. You saw that low leg kick almost swept Radleim off of his feet.
Oh, spinning kick right there to the midsection by Silva. Radleim answering strong there with a kick also to the midsection. And now with the leg kick coming inside, Erik Radleim from Veracruz, but has moved to the border town of Tijuana, where there's a lot of great gyms like Entram and a lot of great fighters in the last few years coming out of there.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, you see anyone who is training in Tijuana will sometimes come across the border. You know, there's a lot of great places to train in Southern California. I like to think that San Diego is kind of the mecca of jiu-jitsu and MMA, so you know, they also have that available to them.
Yep.
Right across the border.
Indeed. Just over 3 minutes left in this first round. It's been entertaining so far. Look at Silva. Sort of a Superman punch attempt right there, and then it comes with that side kick, going to the midsection and going for the head once again. And Silva not afraid of being aggressive and showing his cards right away.
Yeah, and with Silva, he likes to kind of just throw, you know, one tricky thing. I would like to see him throw a little bit more combos, but he is going for the power shots. He is going for that flashy, tricky move, hopefully catching him in one of them. And, you know, I want to say his background is karate. I'm just assuming that based on his stance and his hands low, maybe even taekwondo.
Wow. Head kick, front kick, throwing everything now with a leg kick, trying to push his opponent away, Erick Silva.
Yeah, and I think that leg kick is actually what is doing the most damage. Again, that was the second one that he threw and landed, and it almost swept Radleim right off of his feet.
It's no secret that Silva is one of the big contenders in the future for Lux Fight League. So Radleim playing the role of gatekeeper of sorts, trying to pull an upset here against the favorite Erick Silva. And look at him, he's not afraid either of throwing, especially staying inside the pocket. Although if he stays like that, he can be hurt.
Radleim returns with a nice overhand right of his own. Silva attempts the takedown, but Radleim stuffs him and gets the double unders. I'm really curious to see how Radleim will use this position because Silva is actually very, very good at defending takedowns. He has such a strong base that it's really difficult for guys to take him down, even if they have a leg up. You know, his balance is so good, his base is so good. So I won't be surprised if Radleim is not able to take him down with this over-under position, but very smart on his part. You know, just beating up the legs, scoring some points.
A little bit of dirty style right there, using in Greco. Erick Radleim and throwing some knees.
Yeah, and you know, this is Radleim's style. He's a dirty boxer. He likes to go on the inside a lot in the pocket. And again, being very smart right here with kind of just picking his shots, peppering away at the legs.
What's probably, if you're Silva, what's probably the most annoying part of being clinched like that?
Oh man, just being trapped against the cage. It's the most annoying part. I mean, honestly, you know, foot stomps are super annoying. Oh, very nice. Very, very, very nice.
And right into
Step
half
back.
guard. So 20 seconds left here. And a good move right there, a turn of events here in the first round. And it seemed like Silva was dominating. And then all of a sudden, Radleim coming back, trying to secure the head as we have 10 seconds left. Look at Silva there with the reverse. A beautiful one, landing into half guard on his own. But that's not enough time there to do anything. A pretty good chess match here between Erick Silva from Venezuela against Erick Radleim from Veracruz.
Yeah, I think the difference with the success of that takedown was that he was using a high clinch, like Greco style, as opposed to going for the legs, and was able to successfully get Silva down. We see a couple of exchanges, some heavy exchanges, and just missed with that spinning back kick. But yeah, that was a pretty good round. You know, we saw a lot of dynamic striking attempts from Silva, and saw a really smart move by Radleim, just keeping him against the cage and picking his shots until it was time to get him to the ground. Unfortunately, the round ended before we really could see too much groundwork. But Radleim is definitely game.
I agree with that. So 6-6, the record of Erick Radleim. Erick Silva, 5-1, but we're pretty even here as we're approaching the second round inside the Show Center Complex in Monterrey, Mexico, alongside former Bellator champion Lima Ley McFarlane and I am Francisco X Rivera. We're underway. Let's see how Silva approaches the beginning of the first round right off the bat. Pretty aggressive with that front kick, trying the combination, but Radleim is able to get out of there.
Yeah, that one landed on the chin, though, so you know that Radleim can definitely take a hit.
Both fighters in the bantamweight division, but still looking physically imposing.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised when I found out that they were featherweights, 145ers, because, again, Silva looks very big, and he is seemingly very physically strong.
Sweeping the leg right there is Erick Silva. Radleim could be in trouble, though. He tries to secure the leg right away, but look at Silva trying to stop the takedown attempt. And now with the head stuck in between his legs, Silva's going to try something, try and maybe side control. Going to side position here.
Yeah, I like how Silva is keeping control of that leg. He just lost it, but is able to secure double hooks and now has the back of Radleim. Let's see. Oh, he secures the figure
Oh, wow.
four lock. Very, very uncomfortable position. What Radleim needs to do, besides protecting his neck against the rear naked, but he needs to go to the same side as the locked side, just like he was doing. He needs to go back to that side and start
Look at
untangling his
Silva.
legs.
He could be in trouble, and that's
Oh,
it.
beautiful.
Rear naked choke. Or as we like to call it in Spanish, Mata León. Erick Silva finishes his second Lux Fight League bout just the way he did in his first appearance within the cage. Rear naked choke. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a contender for the featherweight belt.
That was a sneaky one. I didn't even see his arm underneath there. I was more focused on the figure four lock, which is what Silva wants to do. You know, when somebody has a figure four lock on me, it's so uncomfortable around my midsection that I really am focusing on just trying to get out of that I leave my neck open, which is exactly what Radleim did. So very, very beautiful finish by Silva, and shows that he is not just a flashy, dynamic striker. He definitely has that ground game.
Yeah, so in his first fight against Ruben Lozano, he finished in the first round after 3:05. Now he finishes midway in the second round. So great victory for the Venezuelan fighting out of Costa Rica. And something that I love again about Lux Fight League, and I mentioned it, that flag. Half Venezuela, half Costa Rica. Yeah, you were born in Venezuela, but your heart is now also occupied by Costa Rica, and it's something you have told me you've done too, in terms of being born and raised in Hawaii, going to San Diego, following your dreams. It's great.
Yes, and so I truly consider San Diego my home away from home,
Sure.
and the community has accepted me out there. They call me one of their own, so I make sure to let Bellator know to announce me fighting out of Honolulu, Hawaii, by way of San Diego.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
how they introduce me, so
Yeah.
I can represent both.
And you look at Erick Silva now fighting in Mexico, but fighting out of Costa Rica, being born in Venezuela.
Yes.
So you got the cosmopolitan figure right there. Congratulations. Let's go up to Felipe de Maria inside the cage.
Señoras y señores, el referee Miguel Jiménez detuvo el combate al minuto con 33 segundos de el segundo asalto. Ladies and gentlemen, the referee stopped the fight at 1 minute 33 seconds of the second round to declare the winner by submission due to a rear naked choke to Erick the King Silva.